Dae'shon Kerley is an 8-year-old dynamo on the football field, who makes the rest of the kids look like fools. He's fast and elusive just like his old man, but a trouble that lies beneath the surface won't be ignored by his family anymore. The potential risks for children playing tackle football have prompted Dae'shon's father to intervene. Jets wide receiver Dae'shon Kerley is ending his son's football career. Abby Getty Images. He has the most moves and the most skills, Kerley told the Daily News. So naturally they want to put the ball in his hands every play. So, he's getting tackled a lot. But when you come home and your son says, "Dad, I got a headache a little bit," you're like, WTF. You're too young to have headaches playing football. You're done. Don't worry about that. The father knows the terrors of playing such a savage sport. He's only 59, 188 pounds himself, trying to survive in this vicious world. Kerley is currently serving a 4-game suspension for violating the NFL's policy on performance-enhancing substances, perhaps a tacit admission that he needs help to continue to play this dangerous collision sport. It's a path that Kerley clearly doesn't want his son to follow. Dae'shon was making others look silly from the minute he started playing flag football at age 5. He became an unstoppable running back and safety at the youth level before he told his parents about the headaches. It scared Dae'shon Kerley, who has suffered 2 documented concussions in the past 4 years of his 7-year NFL career. The growing concern over chronic traumatic encephalopathy (CTE) in football players has put parents like Kerley and his wife, Crystal Juarez, who was a track star at TCU, on high alert when it comes to their kids. Scientists have linked the brain disease to repetitive head trauma suffered by players in this collision sport. High-profile former players Junior Seau, Dave Dwyer, Ken Stabler and Frank Gifford were among those diagnosed with CTE after their deaths. At the end of the day, a father makes a decision based on the health and well-being of his children, Kerley said. That's what he's supposed to do. Just because I play football doesn't mean that you should too. I'm looking out for his best interest. I've lived and learned this game is brutal. This game can hurt you. CTE can hurt you. If I can prevent him from that, that's what I'm going to do. Boston University researchers released findings this fall from a study that concluded that former players who started playing tackle football before the age of 12 were at a greater risk of cognitive problems, including depression, later in life. Many pathologists believe that young developing brains shouldn't be exposed to the rigors of tackle football. NFL players like Chiefs quarterback Alex Smith won't allow his sons to participate in tackle football until they're in at least 8th grade. I let him play at first, but as information grows and they find out more and more about CTE, Kerley said. Even before we found out about CTE, this is just a brutal game. This will be his last year. I have the control to say, no, you're not going to do that right now. When he gets older, he'll make his own decisions. But right now, I can prevent him from playing, so I definitely will. Kerley and his wife will encourage Dae'shon to continue to play other sports that he's also excelled at, like baseball, basketball, soccer and track, but football will be off limits. It's one of those things where I hope he doesn't take it to heart, Kerley said of preventing his son from playing football. But I got the final decision. My wife and I do a great job of handling our kids. She knows how brutal this game is too. She knows exactly what I've gone through. So, she feels like we're not going to put our son in this situation. The next frontier in the CTE debate centers on diagnosing it in living patients. Boston University scientists have found a biomarker that might help to that end in the next decade. Renowned neuroscientist Dr. Benito Malu recently published findings in the journal Neurosurgery that discovered the tau protein responsible for killing brain cells and indicator of CTE in former Vikings linebacker Fred McNeil before he died. McNeil was the first person diagnosed with CTE while alive. Such a breakthrough could ultimately help medical professionals develop treatments for the insidious disease, prompting questions about whether a player would actually take such a test. The NFL has undergone intense scrutiny for a seemingly lax concussion protocol centering on blows to the head on quarterbacks Russell Wilson and Jacoby Brissett in recent weeks. Would the league encourage players to take a test to determine whether or not they have CTE? Obviously it would be good to know, especially if it's something that you can get help for, the 29-year-old Kerley said. I wouldn't compare that to anything that's terminal like cancer, but it's still knowing something big. That's scary. Kerley's last documented concussion occurred in a 2015 preseason game with the Jets. He admitted that it would be a little easier to take the CTE test if he were at the very end of his career or retired, but cautioned that test results showing even a mild case of CTE in his late 20s could prompt teams to steer clear. If you tell someone that you even have a slight case of it, that would change the whole track of your career, Kerley said. I'm in year 7. If I know I got it, I'm not going to play year 8. It's a scenario that Jeremy Kerley hopes his son never experiences.